Hey everyone, it's Hidesh. Sorry I haven't been able to post videos recently. Actually, I was working on some new projects recently, such as Shogi book translation in Shogipedia, a brand new website made from 81 Square Universe forum. And also, we've started to build a new online playing website at 81 Square Universe as well. So if you haven't checked them out, go ahead and see them after this video. So that's why I was pretty busy, but today we're going to take a look at a very famous game played between Koji Tanigawa and Makoto Nakahara. This game was played as a playoff game in the A-Class of Ranking League 1983. We covered another A-Class playoff game by Tanigawa and Habu before, right? Well, an A-Class playoff is always a historic one because it's only one match and it's always important, so it's sometimes more exciting than Meijin title match. And also, actually, there's another reason I picked up this one today. This game was covered in a famous Japanese shogi comics, Gekka no kishi, shogi players in Moonlight. And I thought I'm gonna start a new feature in several videos from this one. I'm gonna start making videos of the games that were covered in this comics, Gekka no kishi. So this game I'm gonna present was covered in the very first of the comics, story number 1 to number 3, and I'm gonna show some of the pages in this video too. So just keep watching. Okay, so let's get started. And the reason why this game is famous is that we see some great and cool moves by Tanigawa, so please look forward to it. Now the opening is a classic type of Yagura opening. You see the rook pawn is already pushed here, the silver has already went 7G pretty early. Okay, they're basically in classic type of Yagura Joseki, and from here white plays 0 to 7c, so it means white's gonna play offensive in this game. Okay, after seeing this move, Tanigawa played knight to 3g. He chose to attack with the knight instead of the silver. He pawn to 8e, 1e, and bishop 4b, white goes for castling. But rook to 2i, pretty interesting move. King goes ahead and castles, but rook to 5i. Tanigawa goes for the central file. Very exciting strategy. But you see, after seeing this move, white starts to attack with pawn to 7e, because you see the king is still on the 6i, not being able to castle with the bishop blocking it. On the other hand, white's king can castle easily. So white started attack, pawn takes, bishop takes, but then black goes for the central file. Pawn to 5e, pawn takes, and rook takes, attacking the bishop. So bishop has to go back to 4b, and rook goes back to. Okay, silver comes over to 7d. This is a very good move. Knight to 2e, attacking the silver. Silver 2d, and then bishop to 4f, attacking the rook. Very good. But pawn to 6d, blocking it. And actually, this move is threatening this pawn drop in the next move. Black played pawn to 7e, attacking the silver from his side. And after silver takes it, he drops another pawn to 7f. But you all know silver's not going to go back, right? He goes for the 8th file, pawn to 8f. You can't take the silver, so has to take the pawn. Silver takes it. There's this silver exchange, the 8th file. So it seems white's doing pretty good. However, pawn drop to 8g, rook goes back to 8b, and then here, Tanigawa uses the silver immediately here and drops it to 5a, attacking the bishop. Okay, normally the bishop should go to 5c. That's the only square he can go to, but white didn't do that. Maybe he felt uncomfortable with it. After maybe this pawn push, this pawn is pinned. And also black can take out this bishop anytime and drop it to here, for example. Although black is not so comfortable with it either because his king is not in a castle yet. So, actually white didn't play bishop to 5c. And instead he played silver drop to 5c. So he accepts the material loss. So black takes the bishop and gold recaptures sideways. Okay, so I guess Tanigawa is a little bit better here. Okay, then pawn to 6e, of course, but pawn to 5e, an interesting middle block. Well, I don't know, if he takes it, maybe silver drop, forking the pieces. So black didn't take it, pawn to 6d, silver recaptures, and another pawn drop to 6e. But white drops a pawn to 6f2, after gold takes it, And then silver goes back to 7c. Bishop goes ahead to 5e, but pawn to 5d. Bishop goes back. And here is a very good tactic from white. Pawn sack to 8h. Yeah, very good timing. Black has to take it, thus forming a wall here. And then white goes for the bishop set, pawn to 3e. Okay, king to 7h. He stabilizes his king structure. Okay, pawn 3f. Bishop goes away, 4f. And silver drop to 5e. Gold takes, pawn takes, and bishop takes. Another pawn drop to 5d. Okay, bishop goes back again to 7g this way. So now white silver is not pinned anymore. So silver to 7d, attacking the pawn. Bishop drop to 6d. Gold drop to 7c. And bishop goes back to 2h. Okay, so material balance is good for black, but you know, the king structure is not so good for black. Okay, then here, white makes a silver knight trade on 2e, taking the knight in his hand, preparing for a knight drop. And after that, he goes ahead to 6e with the silver. Okay, now black makes a very good pawn sack on 2d, a very good timing too. So white has to take it. And then Tanigawa played silver drop to 5f, trying to take out that silver's pressure out of the board. And the interesting part is, if white takes this pawn, it means black can drop a pawn to that file. So maybe this gold will be in trouble. So white didn't take the pawn on 7f. Instead, he dropped the pawn to 6d, and instead of taking the silver, black dropped another silver to 6g. Okay, silver 5f, and rook recaptures. But from here, white's strategy becomes more like Nakahara's game, because it's knight to 9c, activating the knight now. Okay, pretty interesting. But black activates his bishop to 1g2. Pretty good. Okay, then here, pawn sack to 3g. Very interesting. Black has to take it. But actually, white's next move wasn't knight drop to 2e. Instead, he dropped it to 5e, attacking the silver and attacking this pawn. So that was the reason of that pawn sack. So the silver basically has to go back to 5h, protecting that pawn. But white just goes ahead. Knight leaps over to 8e, attacking the bishop, and bishop runs to 8f, and the pawn up to 7g. Okay, very harsh Nakahara's counterattack. Black's king is in a danger. Alright, now why don't we see the corresponding page in the comics. Playing black is Koji Takigawa. His original model is of course Koji Tanigawa. And playing white is Iwao Ohara. But actually his original model is Oyama, not Nakahara, actually. Okay, so let's go back to the game, and here black played king to 6h. He didn't take the pawn with the knight. But here, once again, white activates his left knight to 3c, threatening a knight fork. So this is the feature of Nakahara's game. You know, he's the master of knight maneuvers. He's famous for being good at using knights. You see 3 knights are very active. Okay, silver goes back to 4h, but now he activates the idle piece. Gold to 7d, it comes over and becomes active again. Okay, pawn to 2c, a very good dangling pawn, but gold even goes ahead to 6c, attacking the rook. Now we're almost near to the critical point in this game. Okay, black played rook to 3f, running from the gold and threatening a pawn drop on 3d. And here, white makes a very interesting pawn sacrifice to 3e. Okay, if rook takes it, this pawn is going to be off, and it's attacking bishop, so bishop can go to here attacking the rook, but rook did 6b, forking the bishop. So actually black didn't take it with the rook, and instead he took it with the bishop. Yeah. So his own rook is now blocked with the bishop, and here white keeps on going with this falling tactic. Silver dropped to 4f, attacking the rook. And you know, the rook basically has to run to 1f. But then, this is the meaning of that pawn sack to 3e. Because now white can play silver back to 3d, forking the bishop and the pawn. So now he can take off that annoying dangling pawn and get one pawn in his hand. So actually it was a very interesting tactic here. However, this is actually the key position in this game. This is the position where Tanigawa's incredible move was played. Okay, now let's see it. What Tanigawa did was, he ignored that attack on the bishop, and he dropped his silver to 7c attack in the rook. Well, it's hard to see his intention here. Well, let's see. So anyway, white moved the rook over to 9b, running away from the silver. And then, black doesn't care about his bishop. He goes ahead, promoting the silver to 6d attack in the gold. So what white does here is, he trades the generals there, bishop recaptures, and then he wins material by taking the bishop for free. Alright, now what's the meaning of that bishop sacrifice from Tanigawa? Well, the next move was very cool. After he take out that gold on the 6th file, he moved his rook over to the 6th file here, before the rook gets blocked in this area. So actually, if you look at this position, although the rook is blocked by his own bishop, now it's very difficult for white to stop the rook from promoting to here, making a great check, which will almost make it a win for black. What an incredible bishop sack on 3e. Okay, but now Nakahara dropped a bishop to 3d. It's very good actually, because it's attacking the king's head, and also here. And this bishop's influence on this direction is also important. You're going to see the reason later. Okay, then black dropped the gold to 2b. King has to run, and then bishop promotion to 7c, threatening a rook's check. Okay, but here white plays silver drop to 6g. If you take it, the rook will be captured. So he ran to 5i. But here, this is the point of that bishop drop on 3d. He played gold to 5c sideways. Now look at this. This bishop is covering this square, which prevents the rook from making this powerful check. So black played horse to 7d, forking the king and the rook. King to 5a, horse takes a rook, lance recaptures, and here's a very good pawn drop to 6h. Okay, white has to take the silver here, king recaptures, and one option for white was a bishop drop here. Well, if he does that, black will lose his rook, but, well, actually this position is a simple win for black. He has many pieces in his hand, so white didn't drop a bishop, and what he could only do was he took the pawn on 4g. Yeah, he tried to take a pawn, because he didn't have any pawn in his hand to block. And after that, he dropped the silver to 6d. Well, also, he can drop his pawn to block from the rook's check from the side, I guess. But, well, it's, useless. Black is already winning here, I guess. So, what black did was pawn drop to 4c. A really good focus pawn. It's blocking the bishop's defense on this square. But if he takes with the bishop, it loses influence on black's king. So he could only take with the gold upward. So he drops the rook now to 9a, pawn drop to 6a, and he takes a lance. Okay, white desperately dropped the bishop to 5a, attacking the rook. However, if you take a look at white's king, you're going to see this move. Knight drop to 6c. And seeing this move, Nakahara resigned. Well, it's actually a mate. If gold takes it, silver drop, king runs, and this covered check. Even if he blocks it, gold drop and checkmate. Alright, so it was a very cool and famous game. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with another Gekka no Kishi game. See you next time.